Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we're breaking down a combat style that is just on another level. We're talking about a method where overwhelming physical force is powered by pure metaphysics. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the absolutely formidable Mode Turtle Warship. And these words from Tempest Roma, they set the stage perfectly. You have to understand, this isn't some friendly sparring match. It's all going down inside the Crucible of Earth, which is basically a specialized, armor-to-the-teeth training ground. So, yeah, the stakes are absolutely life and death. This isn't just a test of skill, it's a brutal test of survival. So, how does a style like this even begin? Well, it all starts with a pretty radical transformation of the user's body. Tempest Roma kicks off the first phase, turning herself into this living weapon known as the Turtle Warship.
Now, this transformation process is incredibly methodical. It's not just a flash of light. First up, you increase the body's raw mass, but without actually getting bigger. Then, and this is the crazy part, all of that new mass gets consolidated, condensed down, creating this incredible density. The final step is fusing the body with golden armor, turning the user into a single, imposing entity. Each step builds perfectly on the last, forging a fighter who is both immensely dense and heavily protected.
But here's the thing, this form isn't just about being an impenetrable fortress. Oh no. It's about weaponizing the fundamental principles of physics. We're talking mass, momentum, and impact, and turning them into a completely relentless offense. This is where the Warship part of the name really comes to life.
The first attack is just a pure explosion of power. Tempest Roma launches herself forward with these ground-shattering steps, weaponizing all that newly consolidated mass and basically becoming a high-velocity projectile aimed right at her opponent, Mitsuki.
And this is where the armored walls of the Crucible become part of the weapon itself. The user doesn't just attack in a straight line. They become a living projectile, a human bullet, using the walls, the floor, and the ceiling to ricochet, unpredictably change direction, and build even more speed with every single impact.
So, you might be wondering, how do they avoid just shattering into a million pieces on impact? Well, the key technique is something called reverse alignment. When they hit a surface, the user aligns their body to absorb all that kinetic energy, and then, in an instant, they redirect it into a brand new thrust. This literally launches them off the wall even faster than before.
And this, right here, illustrates the tactical nightmare it creates for an opponent. By ricocheting off every surface, the user essentially creates a kill grid. You're trapped in the center of this attack pattern where the assailant isn't slowing down at all. In fact, they're actually accelerating with every single strike. It's insane.
Okay, but this brings up a huge question, right? How could any normal body possibly withstand these insane forces? The answer isn't just biological, it's metaphysical. The user's body literally becomes a host for the element of Earth itself.
So let's break down the internal mechanics here. The bones are metaphysically reinforced to a point where they can endure the immense pressure of impact. The blood and the spine, they act like conduits, channeling these overwhelming flows of excess energy. And finally, the hair, believe it or not, serves as a discharge point, safely venting all this energy to stop the body from just completely overloading.
And that visible energy discharge, it's not just a safety valve, like venting steam from an engine. That sparking and glowing hair is a visual cue for a critical secondary benefit, an incredibly accelerated regeneration rate. All the damage the body is taking from using this high-impact style is being repaired almost instantaneously. So let's recap. We've got an attacker who is getting faster with every hit, is nearly indestructible, and can heal on the fly. This brings us to the turning point of the whole conflict. How in the world do you possibly fight back against something like that?
This is the huge dilemma for Mitsuki. Reacting is useless. Tempest Roma is simply too fast. Just dodging is only a temporary fix. So what's the answer? What do you do when your opponent is moving faster than your brain can even process?
The breakthrough is a whole new sense, magnetic perception. Instead of trying to see the attack, Mitsuki learns to feel its intention. By perceiving the subtle magnetic energy a body gives off just fractions of a second before launching a thrust, she can shift from reacting to predicting. She knows where the attack is going before it even starts.
This new sense is an absolute game changer. Before, Mitsuki was purely on the defensive, just scrambling to survive. But with magnetic perception fired up, her entire approach transforms. She's not just evading anymore. Now she can sidestep, she can deflect, and
this is the most important part, she can begin to imitate the style herself.
And that leads us to our final section. With the ability to predict the attacks, imitation becomes possible. And as you can imagine, imitation quickly leads to mastery. The student is about to match the teacher, move for move.
And what a sight that is! The source material describes the clash perfectly. It's no longer a predator and prey situation, now it's two equals, using the same impossibly powerful style against each other. Just picture it, two wrecking balls clashing midair, rocking the entire crucible with every single impact.
So, what have we learned? After the battle, Mitsuki just perfectly sums up the style's core pillars. It's all built on four things: mass consolation for that sheer, raw power, momentum amplification for that mind-bending speed, metaphysical body reinforcement for durability, and of course, enhanced regeneration to sustain the whole thing. These are the four systems that make the living warship function.
Tempest Roma's final words, they just confirm it. By surviving the onslaught, perceiving the unseen, and imitating the impossible, Mitsuki has successfully grasped the fundamentals of this incredibly demanding combat style. The trial by fire was a complete success.
And this leaves us with a final and pretty fascinating question. We've seen that Mode Turtle Warship is the result of mastering the body as a host for the element of Earth. So, what happens next? What other incredible transformations become possible when the body learns to host the other elements as well? Something to think about.